As the boy lay there dormant, all of his humanity drained into a murky puddle. Milky eyes cut through the thick blackness of the bedroom. A spectator. He was no longer the hero of the story. Just a cog in the machine.
These things have taken so much away from us, yet you still run to them every chance you get! Shut the fuck up! Shut up!
The video begins with an old Christian cartoon depicting when Gabriel, an archangel, came down from the heavens with good news that their Lord and Savior has been born, or will be born, stating, "Rejoice, Jesus is born." A distorted voice would go on to explain how Jesus came to be.
There was a woman named Mary who lived in the city of Nazareth. She was in love with a man named Joseph.
There was a woman named Mary who was in love with a man named Joseph. She was still a virgin, and that's when the angel, by the name of would come down with good news. The angel would glitch over the word angel and have a frame of whatever this is. Maybe it's the true face that it wears or something close to it. However, just as quickly as it fell, it would put back on its disguise, now having a black censor bar over his face. He would then whisper sweet zeros and ones in our ear, giving us a binary code which translating to, and thank you for Eli Kirby for allowing us to know what he says here, stating, "I am the one true savior. I must reverse the delusion. Joseph is next." But she bows to him and says whatever God wants, she will do. He then goes to Joseph as he sleeps.
I will fool the shepherds. I will know their greatest fear. I will know your greatest fear. Wake up, Joseph. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
We snap back to the Christian cartoons of the shepherds. Suddenly the sky turns black and the world loses its color as Gabriel, face still hidden, tells them not to fear, telling them he is their true savior, not this Jesus figure. He knows what they love, what they fear. Then he goes on to make a nightmarish face as he says something I can't quite make out. Can't you see? I've deceived them. Such weak minds. I am bound to chains on my ankles that grow heavier with every step. The infinite amount of sin will be my tomb, and my foolishness will be my legacy. If there is a God, please help me. And that marks the end of the first video, Overthrown. There's a lot of interesting points that you can gather, even though it's a 4 minute and 11 A 4 minute 11 seconds video. Thank you, Yuri. You can finally read or think. There are a couple of things that I want to talk about. There's a lot of things that are very confusing. One hand, what is Gabriel? Is Gabriel an angel? Or is it a devil? Or is it an alien? I'm personally going to go with the alien, since that face that it made seemed so weird. It didn't seem demonic, but it didn't seem human. It seemed like interterrestrial. Like it just seemed weird, right? But we'll come to understand who the hell Gabriel is, and then we also get a very big hint of what overthrown means. Obviously, it signifies the overthrowing of the birth of Christ, of humanity's one and true Savior, which is very interesting, because obviously when you think of overthrown, it's a past tense version of like maybe like an existing party that rules somewhere. Let's say maybe an existing government, or maybe a kingdom or a ruler or a democracy, and it's being overthrown by the people. And so it's very interesting putting that word there, where we see that Gabriel is the one doing the overthrowing, making him the underdog. So it makes you think, okay, so maybe he is this version of Satan in this world, considering that even Satan himself appears to be a beautiful angel, because he once was an angel. I think the devil biblically was the angel of music, and he did some evil shit and God said get the fuck out of here. And now he's he always looks so enlightening. He looks like an angel. He's beautiful. That's what they always say, but his intentions are crude and evil and despiteful, or spiteful I should say. And then so him being the underdog would make sense, obviously. And then at the very end, another very interesting point there was obviously the red text seems to be that of an evil person. I would probably say it's Gabriel at this point in time. But what's interesting about it is that we get not just one but two. It sounds like someone is shackled within the middle of the desert, and that the sand will become its tomb. And so it's very interesting seeing that there's two conversations happening, but we're unable to know who is who. Gabriel for sure we can say is the red text, the bold red text, but who is this other party? And I wonder if they're going to be just an example, or if they're going to be something more prominent within the story. However, without further ado, let us get into the second installment of the Mandela Catalogue, that being the Mandela Catalogue Volume 1. Strap in, it's gonna get scary. The video begins with a black and white film showcasing a woman on the floor as she looks up in confusion and asks the man, "Who are you?" only to receive a smile in return. The United States of Temporal Phenomenon goes on to explain that these things called alternates should not be contacted in any circumstances.
That we will refer to as alternates. Until we have a complete understanding of the threat, it is important to stay home, lock all doors and windows, and have access to a loaded firearm or other ranged weapon at all times.
Telling those that encounter them to run, hide, and not to speak to them by any means necessary, as they use psychological warfare to kill their victims. Telling us to use the think method. Tell an authority figure about your encounter. Hinder the alternate's movements. Identify the threat level. Neutralize the alternate if safe to do so. Know your place in reality. Then we are shown some examples of victims and alternates side by side. The ones on the left being the victims and the ones on the right being the alternates. And spotting a difference is not very hard. Some lack hair, others lack entire faces, while some faces are abnormally long. We then move on to some audio logs shared between Mark Heathcliff and his close friend Cesar Torres.
Caesar. I hope it's not too late.
No, it's fine, don't worry. What's up, you alright?
Yeah, it's not me, it's my mom. She's knocked out cold and I have no idea why. I'm on my way to the ER, but could you do me a favor?
Yeah, of course. What is it?
I just need you to come over and turn on the cameras we have set up. You know the ones that we installed after we were robbed?
Oh, yeah. Mind if I ask why?
Well, she screamed really loud right before I found her on the ground. I just...
Well, do you have your doors and windows locked? What the broadcast told us it is?
Yeah, that's the weird part. Maybe she saw something? I don't know.
Alright, shouldn't be too bad. I'm just gonna switch them on and get out of there, though. You know how I feel about your house.
Yeah, that's fine. One last thing. Try to get a good view of the back hallway, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Alright, I gotta go. I'm almost at the hospital. Thank you.
Now with said cameras on, this is what could be found. At 9:56 p.m., I'm guessing Caesar leaves the house after turning on the cameras, which could be heard off camera, sounding like an engine starting, like he got in his car and just drove away. Then 4 hours later, maybe even 5 hours later, at 3:31 a.m. someone would arrive home. 3:32 a.m. we hear a woman's voice stating, "Where you going, Mark?" Then we slowly see what is looking like a long feminine hair enter the frame. The next bit of information comes from the notebook Mark wrote in. It would state, "It followed me home, Caesar. I do not want to see what is on the other side, but it has been days and nobody has come to help." Mark would take out his handheld camcorder and begin recording the door, and again we hear a woman's voice. "I have a gift for you. I have a present. I have a surprise." Though it keeps glitching mid-conversation. That thing is trying to replicate his mother's speech. Mark would finally lose it and peek through the door, screaming at it and shooting it.
You fucking bastard!
The dates on the camcorder changing and saying, "Bad decision, Mark." Then we see a horrifying face come out of the shadows. Before we could see what happened to our dear old friend Mark, we are swapped to the public safety telecommunication segment. It starts off by telling us when and what to call for whatever emergency. For example, if there is a fire, call the fire department. If there is a medical emergency, call the ambulance. But then strangely, if they call for an encounter, do not help a caller reporting a home intrusion, no matter how frantic their screams are. Calmly reassure the caller that help is on the way, and end the call when they stop responding. We then move on to yet another section on something called MAD.
Metaphysical awareness disorder is a severe mental illness that has seen a sudden return in recent months. MAD is the result of exposure to verbal information that is not desired to be known. The rate of death by suicide in patients diagnosed with MAD is 97%. But don't worry, the remaining 3% makes it worth trying to reverse the delusion. Avoiding development of MAD is the first step to being safe. It is recommended to avoid excessively frequent religious practice, as well as any belief in unnecessary philosophical implications. Always remember that looking after your friends, family, and loved ones is a key factor for maintaining mental stability.
97% is incredibly high. Holy shit. We move on to this section called Toddler Stress Assessment Video. It would go on to explain the rules of taking said assessments, saying it should be dusk, take place in a dark room where only the TV is the illumination within the room, and that the parents should know their children's limitations. If they believe they cannot handle it, remove them immediately. And during the stream, I ended up taking the examination very seriously and fully ran into the jump scare of a century. Toddler stress assessment, video accomplishment, or I don't know how to say that. Accompaniment? I don't even know how to say that. Please take your time to make sure your child is now in front of you, in front of your television, in a distraction-free environment. Ages 1 through 5. Wait until dusk to proceed. Make sure no lights are on in your chosen testing environment. The only illumination should be coming from your television. Every parent knows their child best. If you suspect your child absolutely cannot handle the test, you may remove them from the environment and update your psychiatrist. Tests will begin shortly. Remember to have your data sheets prepared for results. Section 1. Okay, we got happy, neutral, and sad. Okay. Alright, that's a good sound. That makes me happy. Yeah. I like that. Uh-huh. That's good. Well, it's a little creepy to me, so I'm a little in the middle on that one. I don't know if I like that lullaby. Okay, what else? I don't like that. I hate when babies cry. Tell me what you want, big bro. Tell me what you want, big bro. Section 2. That's creepy. I don't like it. There's something so uncanny about like old film horror. It's so scary. You said, why the baby crying like we were just born or something?
Tomorrow, Mr. Havisham will take you to your grandfather, and you will live with him at the castle. But I shall not go with you.
I'm neutral about that. That wasn't scary. That was fire. It was good acting. Item 97, childhood drawings. Those are just stick people. I started out drawing stick people. The Scary Night by Rudrick, age 4. Okay. School, Mandela Elementary School. Grade 4, kindergarten. Oh my gosh. Daddy didn't check under my bed last night, so I went to mommy's room. This shit is not making me happy at all. It's making me sad. I was scared. There was scary knocking on the door. You're missing a K there, Bucky. And the scariest part is walking by the desk, a dark room by the stairs. Wrong stairs, but that's okay. Scary. Me. Okay. Almost at mommy's room, then I saw the man in the corner. Oh, don't show me the man in the corner. Oh, he looks friendly. He looks good. Look at him. He's happy. Yeah, I like this guy. And then I fell asleep. The end. Hey! Happy endings. Nice. Nice. Like that. Uh-oh, that's creepy. Oh. Oh! Oh my God, bro. That made me cry, bro. Woo! Bummerclot! Oh my God, that just fucking fucked with me, bro. Bro, when I tell you, I was so fucking confused because I live on the second floor. I'm saying, who the fuck is knocking on my window? I'm looking like, what the fuck? I turn around. This, yo, oh my God, that was impeccable. So I think at this point, I think it's fair to say that these alternates is maybe what Gabriel was in the beginning. I think it's fair to say that Gabriel was a very real angel, but somehow an alternate took the form of said angel and took control and tricked all of humanity. I think it's very interesting. Now the only thing is that there seems to be a lot of like alternate rules, if that makes sense. Like when I say like rules, I mean they're not as super powerful, ultra powerful forces, or at least maybe they are, but they're just sadistic in nature. The reason why I'm saying these things is because they're not just busting down walls or morphing through walls or crashing down doors, opening up windows forcefully. They have to like almost be let in like some type of ghost. Like, for example, the guy said that Mark said that they were there outside his room mimicking his mother, and now we have to ask, did the alternate do that because it couldn't get inside of the room? Did it do that because it wanted to sadistically mess with Mark's mind? Or is it just because that is the only way they can kill human specimen, is when they psychologically drive them mad to the point where they make a mistake, i.e. shooting? And on the shooting part, it's also very interesting considering that for whatever reason it seems as if that the videos are contradicting. It'll go on and say, hey, do not shoot these things, do not contact these things, you fucking run as fast as you can, because there is a 97 mortality rate. 97. And in the same video it said, hey, do the think protocol. If you can kill it, do it. Like, you know, identify it, and then if you can kill it, do it if it's safe to do so. But you made it sound like it was never safe to do so, and then it only defines it when we see that it was pretty safe when Mark did it. He was backed up in the corner, he had the gun, and he screamed at it and shot it, and all it said was bad decision, Mark, making me realize, or making me think, that maybe these things have a form of power that changes technology, and maybe it was their tampering with these nationalized instructions to help people make mistakes, so that way they could more easily suscept them into becoming, I guess, mad. So it's very interesting. I really do enjoy it. So yeah, I think that's about all I can say right now. I'm very much into this. It is a really good pace to it. It has a nice aesthetic. It has a nice story thus far. And it's not really getting me with the jump scares. Like, it's not loud noises. The jump scare that I showed you on stream was probably one of the nastiest jump scares I've ever got from a YouTube video, where it sounded like someone knocked. And I looked, And then I looked back, and the guy's just standing there mocking at me. It's good. It is really good. So let us get into the third installment of Mandela Catalogue, Intruder Alert. We see a program by the name of Mandela County Child Endangerment Awareness Association. Quite a mouthful.
Let's face it, us parents know how time-consuming it is to keep an eye on our young children. While working is essential, they must receive attention from us so that they know we love them too. Some of us may rely on key things that keep them entertained, like toys, walks in a stroller, or even cartoons on the family television.
They tell us how they understand that raising a child is hard work, as they need constant love and attention, and having a job while doing so could make this very difficult, and the child could feel not loved. Distractions for the child could help out with that, just as brain activities, toys, or even turning off all the lights and placing the children in front of a TV.
Be cautious with what channels your children view on the television, since you never know what harmful content they may be seeing. Your children may be viewing elements of violent content, sexual content, graphic content, scary imagery.
This is where shit got super scary for me. The video will go on to say if you can hear your child screaming or crying, for the parents not to go in until no more screaming could be heard. Though within the video itself, we see a parent disobeying that order and walking into the room, only to see her child gone. She'd look at the screen and see this, the intruder just sitting there, smiling. An emergency alert recording would play, describing that 3,426 children have gone missing in Bythron, Hershka, Mandela, and Yonder County, supposedly by this intruder guy. We then see the aftermath of the parents who took their own life. It is said that a neighboring home could hear a crying that was then followed by a loud crack, having an investigator come out and see what the situation was. After taking the photo, the investigator is reported saying that it felt an underwhelming sense of dread and fled the scene immediately. A camera was installed in the home while the next investigator finished what the other one had already started. But in the meantime, the camera shows the intruders entering the home and tampering with the victim's body. They conclude whatever they are dealing with is not an alternate and will not be shared to the public for any reason. Then we get a name drop at the very end of the video, Lieutenant Davis. So what pretty much interests me about this video is that they expanded it outside of the range of Mandela, Mandela County. It's called Mandela Catalogue, and I always tried to figure out why it's called that. And then I guess in your head you're kind of just like, oh, it's called Mandela Catalogue because it takes place in Mandela County. But now we're actually seeing 4 different counties being affected by the same thing, making this whole alternate thing not an alien situation just happening to the Mandela County, but happening to multiple counties. Multiple children have gone missing for no apparent reason. And then it kind of brings in yet another question. Why are they now just being on the road? Why are they now just doing these things? Has it always been happening? Because as we know, We've seen an alternate all the way back BC, before Christ. He was walking around as an angel. So we know that he predates any of that. So as to why that takes, like, why does it take literal centuries, literal thousands of years for them to make a move is beyond me. But that's one of the things that I have a big question on, is why. And another question is, what the hell is this intruder? It's something different from an alternate, and it also seems to be working with the alternate as well. As I didn't think the alternates had the abilities to actually attack, like, via digital cameras and stuff like that. I didn't think they had any of those, because they sound like doppelgangers that use psychological warfare. But now it's making it seem like these intruders are maybe another variant of alternates, or maybe something entirely different, and is helping the alternates by changing the logs on these massive broadcasting instructions, making people more susceptible to making a mistake and paying the price because of it. For example, telling people not to go in and rescue their child, saying that, hey, if you hear your child screaming in the bedroom next to you, don't go in there, big bro, don't go in there. And so obviously the mother did go in there, but they did wait outside for a little bit, and then they came in and the intruder had swiped it. It's very interesting. Very interesting. And it also just brings in a lot of questions, like, okay, so how many variants of these alternates are we going to really attest to it being Gabriel who did all these things? Because we can kind of agree that Gabriel is the all-powerful antagonist of it, but then now we have this second antagonist who seems to be working for its own bidding, while also working with the alternates. Like I said, it's hard to know, and we're only 3 installments in, and there's 7 installments for us to get into. So let us get into the next installment, this one being called Exhibition. This video begins with a dead phone call and some strange music playing in the back, one we've heard before. I wonder if that's purely aesthetic, or if that could be a hint to some more lore. We are back to the Christian cartoons, showing Noah once again, only to be interrupted by a loud knocking sound, with the words behind Noah saying, "Type 2 detectable." Now, this doesn't mean anything just yet, but just keep it in mind for the rest of the video. We then fade to a picture of 2 young children, which being Mark and his sister Sarah, when they were younger. Footage taken from Mark's camcorder is used as evidence reels. Mark's camcorder was collected in his bedroom by a Lieutenant Thatcher Davis from Mandela County Police Department at 3:21 a.m. We then watch Mark's recording. We see a super dark hallway with doors that are closed, to then Mark driving, to then Mark walking up to the church from earlier when he was a kid, to now the door from earlier being opened a bit, to a window with the date August 30th, 1992, to then Mark shining a flashlight at the door. Then we hear that creepy song again. I asked what that music meant and if it had any deeper meaning to it, but I believe it just implies that the intruder is somewhere near, as Mark is recording an analog TV until he could see a figure emerge out of the TV. Cutting back to the same window, now the alternate of the intruder is after Mark. Police deduct that Mark was suffering from severe paranoia for a prolonged amount of time. I would too if I saw that thing chilling outside my window. Also, I keep calling this Christian cartoon, but it actually has a name. It's called The Beginner's Bible. Now, it's going over Noah's Ark. Gabriel would come up to Noah and get mad at him for trying to escape his fears.
Just wait, Noah. Wait until change happening in your mind. You won't even realize it has taken form until you see it. When you see it, there is no return. It will give you a message. It will be your last message.
Punishing him by telling him that one creature will be on that ship, one that you won't even know exists until it is too late. So Gabriel was the one who put alternates on that ship that saved everything. I believe the lore for Noah's Ark is that the world was going to, well, be plunged into absolute water. And so he told Noah, well, he didn't tell Noah, but Noah got basically a heavenly message saying that, Big Broski, you better start building a goddamn huge ship. And so he went and created the ship. Everybody thought he was crazy, but he ended up making it anyway. And it was enough space for everyone in humanity and one of each type of species that got on that ship as well. And so I'm guessing the alternates obviously got there, but it also doesn't ever tell us how alternates procreate, if they are made or if they are made. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. Then, with the subtitles on, the following message can be read. And please do not at me for how I pronounce these things. I've never been one to read scripture very well. But it says, to Corinthians 11:14. And no wonder, for Satan disguises himself as the angel of light. The death of Marquis. United States Department of Temporal Phenomenon. US DTP. If you or a loved one has recently been affected by the result of exposure to analog TV and mirrors, contact your local authority immediately. Financial compensation will not be available. If you have any further questions in relation to recently issued television and mirror destruction order, call a number below, 202-555-0156. And that's the end of season 1. Quite the scary experience and ton of lore. I'll split what we know from what we don't know, or questions that are still vague at best. So, the things that we can 100% say for certain is we know that Gabriel was one of the first alternates and shown to be very powerful, considering it took the form of a fucking angel, while others have trouble with mere humans. There seems to be different types of alternates, how some alternates glitch out from just copying a mother, but then we have, you know, Gabriel, who was able to morph itself into a believable angel and not stutter or do any of that, and just come across very divine. So it's obviously showing that it has a really good knack for it. Another thing we do know is that the series takes place in the 1990s. We know that in 1992, I believe that is the earliest year. There are a ton of supernatural shit so far, being the intruder and alternates. I could kind of turn my head on the alternates because I'm like, okay, these are obviously devilish creatures, maybe aliens, we don't know. But then the intruder says that they are from a different plane of existence. So that just sounds super supernatural to me. Characters we know are the Lieutenant Davis. We know Mark, Sarah, and Caesar. I think that's all we know so far. And the kids who have been taken for some reason. We don't know why, but there are 3,426 kids that have been taken from 4 separate counties, and that's weird, but we don't know why. So things we do not know and have questions for. Why have the alternates waited so long to attack? BC to 1990s is a long time to wait. What are they doing with the children? Why take the children? Are the children the alternates? How are they taking these children, and are they creating these beings able to morph into human beings? Maybe. I don't know. What is type 2? So we saw type 2 over over Noah's head. We don't know what that means. Are alternates aliens, or are they demons? Are they devils? Where'd they come from? I don't know. I've seen some theories, but I don't quite comprehend them just yet because I haven't watched the series yet. But at the very end of this video, once we get through all of the 17 installments of the Mandela Catalogue and create somewhat of a coherent story, I would then like to tackle the theories that come along with them. And finally, why does it seem like Mark was looking for these alternates while everyone else seems to be terrified of the mere mention of them? We even see at the very end there that they were saying that the intruder is a new phenomenon that can look into mirrors, that can look into analog televisions, and could do all these things. And they were like, you need to destroy all these things now, which is very interesting because that means common knowledge, which also means why the hell would Mark sit there and stare at an analog TV that had already been on? And what is up with the intruder? Why is it able to abduct children through the TV? Where is it taking it? To the other plane? Like, what is the other plane? The 5 realities in Franbo? Let us be real. But that's all I can really ask of right now. So let us move on to the next video. That being the Mandela Catalogue, Volume 2. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, on this channel, we are foodies. We have talked about our favorite food, our comfort spots, our favorite candy, our favorite desserts. We've talked about it all. But let me ask you one thing. What is your favorite chips? We've already explained that my favorite chips are the Scrumdiddlyocious sour cream and onion Pringles. And guess what? I'm fucking emptied! There's not a lot of things quite like Pringles chips. Anyway, on a serious note, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. But on a serious note, what are you guys' favorite chips? You guys like Doritos? You like hot fries? What do you guys like? Because for me personally, I like Pringles sour cream and onion chips. Actually, let me make it even harder. Let me hear your top 3 choices. And I want you to rank your top 3 choices from best to least. So for example, for me, you already know. Actually, I have my 3. It's going to be Pringles, lime Tostito chips, or Takis. Now, I'm going to say 3rd place Takis any day of the week. Now, Takis are good. Like, I'm not going to be bad at Takis, but they hurt my stomach. But I think I like that lime taste that Takis come with. They also make my shit red, and they also make my tongue red, and my tummy hurt, and my poo-poos hurt the next day. So they go in last. I don't remember the last time I ate them, but I do remember them being super good. And then we have ourselves the lime Tostitos chips, because they are so good. Personally, recently I've started making my own guacamole, and those lime chips with the guacamole is some of the best things I've ever had in my life. And of course, sour cream and onion chips. If I ever get sponsored by anything, let it be Pringles. Somehow, some way, Pringles hit me up, I will sell your merch, bro. Pringles, 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 Pringles. Yeah, let me guys know, what is y'all top 3, and rank them from 3rd best to the best. So let us get back into it. We went on a tangent there. Let's get back to being frightful, scary, and most importantly, helpless. This video begins with the text saying winter break of 2009. Adam Murray and Jonah Marshalls. We are told that these two are wanted by the FBI, and $100,000 is the reward, as they are suspected to be associated with the Bythorn Paranormal Society. All the while, a phone ringing can be heard in the back.
You've reached the Bythorn Paranormal Society. How may I help you?
Hello? May I schedule an appointment?
Of course, ma'am. Where's the location?
My home, one...
Okay, thank you. Would you mind giving me a brief description of what you've been experiencing?
I've been hearing things.
Like what, ma'am?
I still hear the meows of my old cat Johnny, but the little guy passed away a few years ago.
Really? A freaking cat alternate?
Shh! I don't think it's an alternate. I just think his soul roams the house still. I want to make sure he finds peace in whatever realm he resides in. Do you think you could help guide him?
We can certainly try, ma'am. When would you like us to visit?
As soon as possible, please. When's your next opening?
Well, we could do tonight if you want.
Can you do 3 nights? I'm away from home on a business trip. I'm sure this will give you enough time to deal with him.
Well...
How about 500 a night?
Oh, hell yeah!
Alright. Sounds like a plan. We will help your cat, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you can think.
No problem, ma'am. It's just what we do.
The call concludes, and I can't help but wonder a few things the lady said was just weird. You can do 3, right? When Adam said that they could come tonight. That doesn't sound like a good answer. Doesn't make sense as an answer. And I appreciate more than you can think. Like, what? That's not correct either. Making me think that the alternate that they're speaking to was actually the girl, not the cat. As Adam and Jonah make their way over there, the car doesn't start, and that's when we learn that these two are broke flat and on the run. But they do seem to get it started without stealing another car, as the image is shown of them entering the Mandela Catalogue.
You will arrive at your destination in 10 minutes.
Holy shit, that's actually really useful. I mean, they didn't have to outlaw these things, did they? Like, I doubt that guy's face could appear on something like this and, you know, kill you. I don't know.
No, they did not.
I guess crime really does pay.
I like how you're making us out to be gangsters when all we did was, you know, get all of this.
I know. It's just... we lived our whole lives under the radar, right? Like the quiet kid.
These two are going to find out very soon just how real these alternates are. In the next clip, the GPS tells them they are 10 minutes away, and it's interesting seeing a world where digital technology has been outlawed due to the intruder, as Jonah is amazed of how truly useful this thing is, and they finally arrive, starting off their first night, January 12th, 2009. Night 1, Adam looks inside trying to give the cat peace, but only finds an empty home and one locked door. Later that day, Adam and Jonah can hear screaming coming from inside the home. Jonah wants to leave badly, but Adam wants to stay and charges back in, trying to contact whatever ghost/alternate he thinks is there, but the alternate begins playing games with them.
Oh my god, behind you!
Dude, seriously, stop!
Oh my god, behind you! Behind you! Behind you!
Dude, fucking quit!
What are you saying exactly? Dude, that's not funny. What's not funny?
Take a tiny bite.
Having Jonah scream behind you on Adam's radio, and Adam saying some creepy shit on Jonah's radio, destroying the dude's communication. It then cuts to a clip of the beginner's Bible, where Eve convinces Adam to take a bite from the forbidden fruit, after which Adam claims the apple was good, but now he's scared, creating an obvious parallel to our Adam and the Bible's Adam. Maybe this home was the apple, and Adam is just unknowingly opening Pandora's box, essentially. Anyways, Adam decides to sleep, and that's when we see this.
You followed the shepherd. You are a fool. Follow my voice instead. You will find great happiness. Wake up, Adam. Do not make me wake the other
I'm guessing now about night 3, Adam takes about 3 different pictures as he can hear strange noises coming from behind the door. Then we hear a mysterious voice again saying, it seems that Jonah has also saw something and captures it. Question mark, question mark, question mark. He begs to Adam to just come out, and Adam basically ignores him, saying that he can finally hear the cat and he should use the radio to help him out. Jonah fucking loses it.
Did you just pick that up? What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
Don't. Just don't, okay? Please.
Oh, so now you're taking this seriously.
Dude, I don't know what you want from me. I'm as serious now as I've ever been.
This whole time, huh? So you fucking with me was you being serious?
I get that I screw around sometimes, okay? But that's just what I do.
Well, maybe it shouldn't be.
Look, man, I'm just devastated that I'm not as broken as you still are with everything that's happened, and I'm sorry that I can't keep helping you carry this burden.
What does it have to do with anything?
But I'm reaching my fucking limit here. These things have taken so much away from us, yet you still run to them every chance you get.
No, I don't.
Fucking listen to me! You're not invincible, okay? I know you thought that when we started doing these fucking death marches. And nothing happened, and I get it, but this right here is real, and you should know that more than anybody.
What's that even supposed to mean?
I wish we never looked for your because she is dead and gone, and we were never gonna get her back.
What did you just fucking say to me?
And I'm sorry that these are the lives that we lead today, but Adam, if you walked down those stairs, you'd be joining her. And if by some miracle you come back out, I don't think you'd be yourself. And I'm telling you right now that I won't be here to confirm that.
Well, then just fucking leave then! Leave!
Adam goes down those stairs, only to find a cat on a TV monitor. Then we snap to the camcorder seemingly being placed on the floor with the subtitles, "You don't remember me." And for a frame, we are shown the mother, who had hung herself back in volume 1. Are we saying that that video of the endangerment, toddler assessment, whatever that's called, was actually Adam's origins? He was the child that was taken?
I did the right thing.
Nobody is coming to help you.
Jonah? You there?
Do you understand?
We snap back to Jonah flooring it down the highway, and in a bit of irony, he gets the answer he was asking earlier. He had asked, why outlaw such things as GPS? Because there's no way the intruder would be able to use such things. The alternate can for sure contact him on the GPS, telling him that he left Adam behind and that Adam will die without him, that he basically killed him. Now, before moving on to the next portion of the video here, I think it's I think it's a good thing to ask, or not ask, but a good thing to point out that they were dealing with two alternates. One alternate that was playing the cat noise, which was obviously the intruder, and then another alternate that did the lady scream, or was procuring the lady as scream, or as the girl saying, "Can you come get me?" So it's very interesting how important Adam is, and it also brings into question if Adam was the child who was taken in that endangerment phenomenon, whatever it was, and Lynn had killed herself, and whatever happened to the father happened to the father, then why is he here? And he doesn't remember. So it starts to make you question, okay, are they taking all these children in and replacing them with like husk of them, and they're or like maybe erasing their memory? Like, what are they doing to these children as to warrant them needing 3,426 of them? I had originally thought that maybe, just maybe, that they can't create alternates. They need maybe like another thing that children have. Maybe they need that special awareness of the different plane for it to actually work. And so maybe they were like, we're going to take all the kids and turn them into alternates. I had kind of leaned into that when I had mentioned how do they procreate, if they're made or if they're made. And I think I thought they were being made. I thought they were being taken by humans, blah, blah, blah. But now with the children, it made me realize, I was like, okay, I thought the intruder was to get them, make them into whatever, and then place them back out to kill their doppelganger, pretty much. But now we're here, and Adam, for whatever reason, seems to be the only person that has happened to him like that. Like, I don't know. It's really, really interesting, and it brings in just a lot of questions that I hope that they really flesh out, because, dude, if that is true, that means 3,426 of those alternates are walking out and about, waiting to be unleashed. It's so cool. It's so cool. Let us get into the next one. Let's get into the Mandela Catalogue Volume .333, which are angel numbers, by the way. And maybe that could be a hint. Maybe things could start looking good, or maybe it could all be satire and sarcastic, because it's not an angel, but Gabriel is technically an angel. So let's get into it.
It's okay. It's okay. What's wrong, honey? Everything's gonna be okay. There's no need to cry.
Hey, what's up?
You started crying again. At the same time, I don't know what to do.
I'm sorry, I just don't know how to help you anymore. Are you absolutely sure it's not the...
No, I keep telling you, it's not. I've had it unplugged for weeks now.
I mean, I guess I can come over and help you figure it out. Are you free tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night? You promise you'll actually come over this time? He's still your child too, you know.
I swear to God, Lynn, if this is just an imaginary friend or something, I'm gonna lose it.
What do you mean? Do you realize how young he is?
I think that it'll be so overpopulated that there'll all be wars. All nuclear explosions and everything.
So I just tend to today's chores and let the good Lord worry about tomorrow.
What about us?
We'll always have Paris.
Speed hundreds of telephone calls as well as television programs.
We we begin the video with a lore drop. The woman's name from volume 2, her name is Lynn, and the child she lost was in fact Adam. I think I was right. It's just so crazy to think about that. We then snap to another home where another child could be seen watching all forms of black and white old movies. We then see a broadcast of the Mandela County Police Department, which is being shown on television. It's giving the promotion of Sergeant Ruth Weaver and Lieutenant Thatcher Davis, solidifying their role in the story, because this is not our first time hearing about Mr. Davis here. We then hear a school receptionist call the police department and Lieutenant Davis picks up.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Good evening, officer. One of our students, Mark Heathcliff, he's been absent for the past couple days without any reason, no phone calls from parents, no doctor's excuse, and we don't have any apparent emergency contacts on file for him. If you could have someone pay a visit to the 3 Avenue and make sure everything's alright, it would be much appreciated. Oh, and if someone could try to get the contact info for whoever answers the door, that would be much appreciated. Thank you, and have a nice night.
Mark hasn't been to school in a few days, and she's a little bit worried about his safety. And as we know, we last left off, Mark had some troubles with his mother and was seemingly attacked by an alternate. And so Thatcher goes to the yellow home we saw way back when and knocks on the door. And when entering, he finds Mark's body. He had shot himself. Looking around the room, the TV is full of static. There are books lying around, one of which being the Holy Bible. Thatcher is shown to be a little too interested in the case, as he's just been promoted and he does not to be working on this case, but he still chooses to do so. We are then shown a bunch of items that have fingerprints all over them. We are then shown a bunch of items that have a bunch of fingerprints all over them at the crime scene. Mark having all of his fingerprints over the gun, the book, the camcorder, but not the doorknob. Something else was present in that home. Thatcher then found a tape recorder labeled "Voices Outside My Room."
You need to open the door. No. I am not going away.
What time is it? It's just after 8. I'm nervous for the time. Don't be nervous about the time. You have loads of time. Let's see.
Strange. There seems to be more than one alternate. Why do they care about Mark so much? It's like he knew too much or something, and they had to quiet him. Within one of the notebooks labeled Reassurance, it reads, "God loves me unconditionally. Always remember that no matter the circumstances, God loves us all simply because He chooses to do so. He loves me so when no one else loves me. I am at peace. Today is A day that I need God's love more than anything else. I am alone and I need to feel the warmth of His love and reassurance. My Lord, I am afraid. I beg for your love and protection against this evil. I have no choice. The cops never came for me. Nobody came for me. Whoever is reading this, please stop it before it does this to anyone else. Who have I been praying to all this time? Who have I been praying to all this time? Who have I been praying to all this time? Who have I been praying to all this time? Who have I been praying to all this time? I've been praying to all this time. The writing would become scratched out. Then my eyes are wide open. We are then shown a missing poster of Cesar Torres and how he may be an alternate at this point, so keep your guard up.
Hi, future editing Yuri here. I seem to have skipped over on some details. So, a dude named Dave was sent some video files that were encrypted. So, what we are about to view is that video which he was only able to get 2 minutes or so off of it.
Alright, Mr. Davis, I understand that you were hoping that I would be able to recover the contents of all of the tapes that you sent in, along with your request note. I was only able to recover maybe about 2 minutes from one of them. I'll be copying my recording of it onto this one right after this. I hope this helps you with the rest of your investigation. If you need any more help, you can call me back or just send me another letter and I'll be waiting a response.
Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, hello. Now, you may be thinking, who is this voice speaking to me through my television set? Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Stanley. It is very nice to meet you. Consider me a friend, because I might consider you one too. I like having friends. How many friends do you have? That's great. Would you like to know a secret of mine? I can make friends appear out of thin air. What was that? You want to know how? Well, I can tell you, but you have to promise me that I am one of your friends first. Great. First, we must consider what makes up a good friend. What do they sound like? What do they look like? What colored eyes do they have? Always remember the most important rule. If there is a new friend that lives in your head, it is best. They're just as scared as you are. Okay. Have a friend in mind? Great. I think it's time to meet your new friend. Now just close your eyes and think really hard about your new friend. Can you keep an even bigger secret? I think it worked. Your new friend is somewhere in your house. Now it's up to you to go and find them.
Could this Stanley guy be the name of this intruder we keep seeing? He did say that he speaks to these children through the televisions, Or could this be just more than one intruder, and just so happens to have the name Stanley? And what was Stanley doing? Do alternates only have power from young children's imagination, and that's why they have to manifest them in order to become an imaginary friend? Many questions to have, and not many answers. At least not yet anyways. We then hear a 911 call from Jude Murray to Thatcher.
What's the emergency? Please, you gotta help me. There's someone in my house. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what they got inside. I've had my doors and windows locked for months. All right, just calm down, okay? We'll get this figured out. Just need to stay quiet. Are you hiding? Yes. Does this person have a weapon? I don't know. I can't tell. Is this person threatening you or your family? No, he just stands in the corner. He's not taking anything. He's just standing there. I think my wife is hurt. I don't know what to do. It's gonna be fine. You just need to calm down. I want to look at his face again. Okay. All right. Does this man resemble anyone you know by chance? No. What? I have never seen anyone in my life that looks anything like him. That can't be right. That doesn't make any sense. What? I'm sending over one of our officers. Just don't hang up, okay?
I just got a 1015. I'm heading over to the place now.
Damn it. Okay.
What? Did you get a similar call?
I believe we got a home intruder. I apologize for the silence, sir. What's your address? Sir?
Thatcher? I'm gonna need some backup here.
What are you talking about? Where's the others?
The officer that was already checking out the place just pussied out.
Jesus. Okay. Bruce, what's the address?
If we are to say that the events from Volume 1 is what is unfolding right now, Jude came over to help with the child, but then the intruder took the child, causing Lynn to go mad, killing herself, and the intruder did in fact manifest itself to tamper within the body, meaning that Jude either came over too late and was terrorized and killed by this intruder. It is also very interesting seeing as people knew of alternates, but this whole new thing here was the intruder. No one knew what that was at the time. Then we see the pictures of the hallway from Volume 1. Thatcher believes the pictures from the automatic cameras weren't of any help, and thus he and Ruth go in to investigate IRL.
You see anything?
Negative.
Yeah. You hear that, right? Just stay behind me, okay?
Finding the TV without the intruder inside may be implying that it's still somewhere out in the house. They find the intruder, and these creatures seem to distort cameras when they are too close. It's hard to make out, but something does happen to Ruth, causing Thatcher to flee and look for help at the station.
.1078 requesting backup. 1078 requesting backup. 1018 requesting assistance from available Bythorn units.
This is an unauthorized use of overthrone. Identify yourself.
Lieutenant Thatcher Davis, MCPD. 1018, requesting assistance from available worksheet units.
However, the intruder seems to make that impossible as Thatcher finally finds the thing causing all of this mayhem.
Mommy, wanna be my best friend? He likes to hide, but he wants to meet you. I want to play with him in the TV.
Stop or I'll shoot! I said stay back!
And that seems to be the end of Thatcher. So within this video, I actually find it super enthralling, super interesting, seeing that they kind of doubled back. I didn't really think we needed like this much information on Lieutenant Davis, because a lot of what we saw in this video was kind of already inferred. I was watching everything and it all made so much sense. But just to have this clarity, it felt even cooler. Seeing the in-between, seeing that, oh, the guy from earlier did go to that house and felt an unwavering amount of dread and just dipped. And that was the person Ruth was talking about when she said he pussied out. And so now she's on the way. And so in the betweeners, that's when the camera was happening. And I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed seeing like the different perspective of the beginning, where we were told basically that endangerment cartoon, I thought it was just an instruction gone wrong, but it was actually a retelling of what actually happened with Adam. The very first thing they show us, pretty much, one of the very first things they show us pretty much, is the very retelling of the origins of Adam. And I found that incredibly awesome to see that, and also to see the horror of it all. And it also brings up a point of what is Thatcher actually going to do to these things. Shooting them don't seem to work. So like in this entire series so far, it seems that they've been untouchable. It seems like we can't do anything with them. It's also super weird because I feel like Mark had a lot to answer for. I feel like Mark understood things and was in the wrong places and reacted a little too accordingly to not understand what he was dealing with, right? I just felt like that was very interesting that he chose to shoot himself versus shoot the thing. I don't know, it just seemed like Mark had a lot to tell, because he seemed like he understood what was going on from the very beginning, to the point where he started recording himself, writing down notes, reassuring himself. Like he almost knew of the Think protocol before the Think protocol was even a thing, right? because he was trying to know your place in reality. So he was trying to write down and saying that, hey, I'm cool in this room, I'm dope, but he literally got starved out from the alternate, and there seems to be two alternates that got him in there. So that's just interesting. Like, what did Mark do to deserve such hatred? I don't know. And I imagine that it's not going to be the end of it, because we saw a picture of Mark and his sister Sarah, so it's very possible that Sarah is going to make a comeback and maybe finish what he started. I have no idea, but it's pretty cool. Rest in peace, Ruth. I'm sorry, Ruth, that she died, and I'm no doubt sure that this is going to affect my man Thatcher, considering that Thatcher seemed to be very close with her, and they both got promoted at the same time. So let's just get into the next chapter, or the next installment of Mandela Catalogue, that being Every Day Gets Brighter. This video takes place not long after the events of Volume 333. Thatcher is going through how he feels different since that day.
They won't stop till they've taken everything. Everything I loved. Everything I cared about is gone. I'm scared. But I can't show it. I can't show any fucking weakness, because if I act human, if I act like this is fucking bothering me, they're gonna lose hope. Everyone's gonna blame me for this. Everyone doesn't know what to do. No one knows what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. I can't be the man everyone wants me to be. I'm tired. I feel like I haven't slept in so long. Yet nobody knows what we're doing. And all these missing people, you know, they blame us for not finding them, but we don't know where the fuck they went. They don't realize that we're in the same fucking boat as they are. That thing took something from me. I feel different. Seeing a perfect copy of you just walk away. Back out into the world. No one's answering. No one's telling me what's going on. I'm gonna kill this thing if it's the last thing I fucking do. I'm alive. But part of me doesn't want to be.
So this one was pretty, simple, pretty quick, pretty spooky. First of all, I really love the rotoscoped 3D like janky models. When I don't know, I really enjoy the fact that Alex, I think that's his name, the Alex Christer, I really like the fact that he used that like uncanny thing when you put too much facial recognition within 3D models. Like those videos that you've seen of Leon Kennedy, when he has 400% facial features, and this motherfucker's just smiling like that. He basically used that, but like that's how I would imagine a fucking alternate looking that isn't a type 2, at least. It's just weird. But we also have some questions, right? We learned something new about alternates. They do not need to kill something to change. I always thought they needed to kill them and they become their doppelganger. He's still alive. Thatcher's still alive, and yet he knows that that thing has his skin, has his face, has his features out there somewhere, and he's wondering, like, did he take something away from me, or did he just take my identity? And also, why not kill him there? Now that we're on that subject, why did he leave Thatcher alive? Was it for some reason, or was he just being a weirdo? Was he just being stupid? Was it theatrics? I don't know. I don't, maybe like it's supposed to show that these creatures are like doomed to make mistakes from their sadistic nature. It almost makes me feel like we're dealing with like an abominable energy of negativity, of evil things, kind of like Kamala's from Franbo, where they are literally grown from negative thoughts, negative emotions, and that's what they feed on. And I'm thinking maybe that's what these things are, that they're just sadistic in nature. They have no humanity. Maybe they are humans that lack human traits, and that's what, like, maybe they're clay, and that's why they're able to, you know, because I think that's a whole biblical thing, right? Is that God first made men with sticks and dirt, and then was like, ugh, threw that bitch out. Then he tried to make them with clay, and he was like, ugh, that didn't make sense either, and he threw them out. And then he made us with flesh and bones. I think that's how it goes, loosely. And so if we're gonna go by this trait of it being super religious, maybe God did create more than one type of humans, and right now we're seeing all of them. Maybe we are the flesh and bones, right? And maybe the clay actually somehow got out and became alternates. It would fit with how clay can mold into pretty much anything. And then the dirt and sticks, I don't know. Maybe they just lack a physical body, maybe. And so maybe those are the intruders and they live on a different plane. I don't know. Anyway, questions to be answered. The next video installment would be called Interlude. This video begins showing us the population over the years in Mandela Catalogue, and it's only become more of a wasteland due in part of people leaving, but because of people also disappearing. In 1992, there was 14,000 people reported in Mandela County. In 2009, 1,075 people. We then see that Adam is still alive and kicking and has asked for one of his buddies to get some high classified info on the alternates. Finally getting our question on what the hell a type 2 detectable even meant all those videos ago. There are 3 types of alternates. Type 1, one that has failed to assimilate correctly, causing obvious differences, like not enough detail in the face, not being able to speak well, etc., etc. Type 2 alternates have copied it perfectly, down to the speech, the look, mannerisms, basically being able to hide in plain sight without anyone ever noticing, such as Gabriel. And finally, a type 3, overdriven assimilation, when an alternate loses that human facial structure and begins to look deformed, still however being highly intelligent and being able to speak on the same level as a type 2, example being that of the preacher who speaks the same way as Gabriel did to Noah. However, obvious face changes make it out to be a very alternate looking creature. We then get this magical collection of sounds. Next, the next installment is the Mandela Catalogue Volume 4. This volume is huge, so strap in. I probably won't stop, and I will just go all in for a little while. So this might be a 20 to 30 minute segment, so like I said, just strap in. It's going to be a long one. The video begins with a monologue.
In the beginning, the earth was created without form, as a spirit hovered over the face of the waters. Light was created first, then the light was divided by darkness. The light would be called day, and the darkness would be called night. On the second day, the Spirit created the skies above and the water below. A great firmament was created to divide the waters. The evening to the morning was the second day. The water below was separated from dry land, where a diverse arrangement of plants were grown. The mass of water would be called the sea. The land would be called Earth. A grand array of stars and planets filled the emptiness of the night sky. The sun and moon were created to give life to day and night. Several creatures were created to inhabit the sea, sky, and land. The creatures would multiply, and soon the earth was filled with these creatures. On the sixth day, a man was created from the dust of the ground, followed by a woman to keep him company. They loved each other very much, and happiness was felt for the first time. They would gaze up at the stars that night before falling into a deep, graceful slumber.
At night we can see Adam, the biblical Adam, that is, go to that tree, only to see a dark figure standing underneath. It was Gabriel, and this time he convinced Adam to eat the forbidden fruit.
This night was different than the last. The woman would gaze up at the sky, but the brilliance and beauty of the stars were obscured by the man staring down at her. The woman was afraid.
We then cut to a call between O'Brien and Dave. O'Brien tells Dave that his successful band gig and the church, and he's probably referring to the one Sarah and Mark went to. I think it's called Gabriel's St. Gabriel's Church or something like it. And then he then asks Dave, how has he been? Dave explains that local business hasn't been doing very well recently, saying that not many visitors these days, due to the whole alternate business, I'm guessing. While on the phone, the coworker views something she wasn't supposed to see from Thatcher. Interested, she steals the tape from the evidence bin. She will go on to use the analog TV saying hands off and views the tape, taking us back to the toddler stress assessment all the way back from volume 1. We then cut to Thatcher. Man's kind of a stud. I mean, I had him pictured as like some mid-40s guy with a large beard and losing hair, but hey, this works too. I can simp for him. We then cut to a video of Bythorn High Daily News. Sarah Heathcliff, Mark's sister, announces her paranormal club.
Our next student comes from our very own Bythorn High. Please welcome Sarah.
Hello. I am Sarah Heathcliff, founder of the Paranormal Club at Bythorn High School. I look to do some private investigations and help some people out from the surrounding areas. I'm currently looking for a work partner to pursue this line of work with. Don't worry about having any experience or anything. I'm also a beginner. You can contact me with the email shown on screen now. I look forward to hearing back from someone. Thanks for listening.
We then see a photo of Sarah, saying she's still at large, serving as a callback to Adam being wanted in 2009 for having an illegal technology. Adam being an alternate magnet, he contacts Sarah, no problem.
Hey Sarah, I saw your video. I'd like to join you with your investigation stuff since I think that sounds pretty cool. I go to Workshaw High School, but I hope that's not too much of an issue. Also, I grew up in Mandela, so I have some ideas of places we can explore. Up to you though. Hope to hear back from you.
Sarah, of course, hearing this, is delighted to allow Adam onto the team. There's a list as to why these two are at large in the first place, but event 1 is called Breaking and Entering. In this video, we see Adam is shown taking Sarah somewhere to show her the alternates or intruders, whatever they are.
Okay, all set. Now press play.
What the fuck is this?
Shh. Just watch. Look, Sarah, look at it. What are you doing?
No. Adam, please.
It's right there, Sarah, look.
What's going on?
Don't Don't you want to see?
I can't look. Please.
It's literally looking at us, Sarah.
Stop it, please!
No worries. We got it on video. You can look at it whenever you're ready. You got a crazy good shot, Sarah.
No. I'm not doing that ever again.
You're kidding.
I just need time, alright? If you're gonna keep doing these with someone, then you need someone else. I'll do everything else, I guess.
Now, I'm reading my script and I'm just gonna break the ice here. It's so funny knowing what I know now versus what I thought at the time, but I said Jonah was right. Something seems to have changed Adam completely, as the sight of this doesn't seem to scare him at all. But to Sarah, she's terrified to even look. So what's interesting is I was thinking at that point that this was happening after the events of what we saw go down with Jonah, and that something did change. But no, this is kind of even worse because Adam was always this freakazoid for alternates. He was always weird. He was always questioning and wanting to explore these things, thinking he was the hero. It's so interesting seeing it right now. But no, this definitely happens 2 years before. As you guys can tell, it says paranormal, Bythorn Paranormal Club, but it changes to society, meaning that it was once a club in high school. Now it's become something more illegal. Then 2 years would pass from that night, and God, I keep going back and forth. I'm trying to understand if that Sarah and Adam clip happened before the Jonah clip, and now I think we have our answer. As 2 years ago, it's still 2009, so that means the whole thing with Sarah was actually in 2007. So that's all cleared up. So let's just ignore my previous ramblings. I was not cooking, and I already told you guys that I was just not on the right line there. Anyways, Adam doesn't seem to be in good relations with anyone, as Amanda seems to hate us, and we are unfriending Jonah at this point, probably due to the incident. And Evelyn, the girl that was snooping earlier, is wanting some closure for something. And wait a goddamn minute. How the hell is Adam driving? Didn't Jonah flee with the car? Which means Adam left the basement, somehow intact, found the car with Jonah, and probably still inside was dead, and now he's acting like nothing ever happened. Or at least he's acting way too calm for one of his dear friends to be dead. Very frightening. Adam's a monster. I'm not bailing you out when the cops find you. They won't. They're all bark, no bite. Just got home. Did you hear my voicemail? No, I've been busy. How did the visit go? Do you want the good or the bad news first? Great. There's bad news. Jonah bailed. I'm pretty sure he's dead or something. Adam, what? Okay, wait. Let me say the good news. Absolutely not. Call me now.
Adam? Eventually someone will stumble across that. You just drove off?
Didn't really think it would be that big of a deal.
What?
Put yourself in my shoes for a second. I just got done walking for miles in the cold, alright? Would you expect me not to take the car?
What the hell has gotten into you? Adam.
Got some killer footage, though.
I don't give a shit about the footage until you sort yourself out. Crazy how I feel more sympathy towards someone I hardly knew than you. He was your best friend.
No, he wasn't my best friend. I was his best friend. I don't have friends.
We have to tell our viewers, you know.
We? I think you mean you. You're the one that handles the online.
No, you. This is all your fault, Adam. We didn't need this footage. I don't care how good it is. Why don't you make a memorial video for the only person that ever cared about you? The viewers will start suspecting things sooner or later. I thought you were better than this.
We cut to Thatcher going through basically blaming himself for Ruth's death and that he will kill the fucker that got her. He would then go to sleep while a smiling man would watch in silence. We would cut to Dave as he is firing Evelyn because he can no longer employ her. He's just not getting paid enough. She asked about the tape and Dave would hang up on her, clearly bothered that someone had solved the tape. We then cut to this freaky ass scene.
This is Lieutenant Patrick Davis. Seems like I made a mistake. Everything's clear here at the station. Calling off all units. Over.
Afraid of your own reflection, Lieutenant. Dead or alive, you're no use to these people. A man without a purpose, in a world that doesn't need him. A scared boy with a gun. Sound familiar?
I'm afraid he's out. What do you prepare? That's something I can do. Would you sit down? Thank you. You know, Sherlock Holmes and I have been engaged on a great many cases. Yes, indeed.
Dear Ruth, I know you can't read this letter, so I guess this is more for my peace of mind. I miss you a lot, man. I like to think that you're watching me somehow, making fun of me while I write you this fucking letter. But I'm always greeted by that same invasive silence. I keep driving by that house like, I'm gonna get over it somehow, you know? But it hasn't gotten easier. There's a lot of movies and music that you missed. I wish I could show it to you. Just one more time. Because the reality is, Ruth, I don't think I'm gonna find another friend like you again. And every day it hurts. It hurts so bad. And now you're dead because I was too fucking scared. I was too fucking scared. I'm so sorry. You deserve better, Weaver. You really did.
Are you almost done with the video? Sure. Okay. This is stupid. Uploading this makes it way more dramatic than it needs to be. Don't care. Your fault. Your PR this time. Whatever. What the hell is the... Oh, he sent the wrong file. Let's watch the actual one.
It is with heavy hearts that we announce the passing of Jonah Marshall. a recent member of the Bythorn Paranormal Society. Jonah was beloved by many of our viewers, and for good reason. He brought a positive energy to an otherwise serious organization. We couldn't be more saddened by the passing of such a pure soul. Jonah passed away peacefully, surrounded by his loved ones.
He was always the nicest guy up until he started the investigations of Jonah. I never believed in that kind of stuff. He always came across as a skeptic, sort of just more surprised than anything. There was always something going on with him, but he just never told me. We got into a big fight over it, and he just told me some awful, terrible things that I just wish he had never told me.
I never said that. It's messing with my words. I don't know what's going on. It's not me. The computer, I swear. I'm not stupid. I never said that. The computer, I swear. Messing with my words. I'm not stupid, alright? I don't know what's going on. Messing with my words. I never said that.
Shut the fuck up!
I never said that. Messing with my words.
I've had enough of you!
Messing with my words. I never said
Please,
that.
just get the fuck out of my head!
That was not much better at all. Is this the effects of the MAD, or is Adam just something different? Then we move on to the next section of the video, correspondence. We come to meet this thing called the Third Face Studio thing, where it's basically able to stretch and morph into any shape we command. After the tutorial, the screen glitches out and we see Adam's mother hanging in the TV static in the back, then morphs into a creepy face once again.
Society of followers of the truth, a mass of tangled limbs danced around my bedroom. I held my breath and waited for it to stop. I was too scared to made my relationship rude.
We then snap to the police department once again. Evelyn is shown peeking around. Then we go to Thatcher, who is at home. Dave calls him and says that he's done and he's ready to live in peace. He tells Thatcher that he should try to do the same. Once again, going back to Evelyn, she is shown waiting for something, then finds the key. Then we switch yet again. I know, just stay with me. Dave meets O'Brien, but as it turns out, O'Brien's been praying to the wrong god. O'Brien tells him to stay still as the sky would blacken, kind of like how Gabriel did all the way back in the Christian, the beginner's Bible cartoon. In Dave's sunglasses, we see a figure, Gabriel. He tells him how much of a fool Dave is, then says that he will be coming after Thatcher next, killing Dave simply by the sight of himself. We again go back to Evelyn, the side quest. She finds all forms of documents, this time finding shit on Adam. Adam was indeed the son of Lynn and Jude. I think she robs the place. Kind of crazy, but with a population of 1,000, who's really going to stop her at this point? Then we go back to Adam. He gets an unknown message, and when clicking on it,
The TV illuminated the spectrum, drowning out the darkness
going on, Adam? Who are you talking to? You need to call me back now. I don't know what's going on. Please don't make me have to worry about you. Please call me back. Please.
Is Adam a fucking alternate? If so, that would explain a lot. It would make a lot of sense, but at the same time, would call into question so many things. Like, okay, that explains why he feels so drawn to them, why he doesn't really feel too scared of them, and why he hasn't gone mad from encountering so many of them. I understand that. But then, what type is he? Is he a type 4 of alternate? A perfect copy that believes he's the real Adam? Wait. It actually kind of makes sense. That's actually starting to make a stupid amount of sense. We know that Lynn took her own life because Adam was taken, yet we still see Adam today. So maybe they took the kid version of Adam and replaced him with an alternate version. Wait, that's kind of a fire as... That's fire! Wait a minute, whoa! Let me digress. Anyways, final message. I deceived him. The Mandela Prophet. We have their prayers. And their records. It begins today. The Mandela Prophet? The Mandela Prophet? Okay, there's so much to learn here. One, we finally got to see Gabriel again. It's actually kind of crazy because I think this is the most recent time that we actually get to see Gabriel IRL. Not just retellings of what he's done, but actually Gabriel coming out in the flesh and doing whatever he's doing. What interests me greatly, let's just go down the list. What interests me greatly is Adam has always been a freakazoid. Adam has always been attracted to these things, even before he went to that basement. So that much is true. Apparently he and Evelyn went out. There's a contingency there because she was texting him saying that she wanted closure, yet Sarah said that she had dumped him. So it's like a little different. Like it seems like that's for some reason a very big point of reference was their relationship, down to the point where she went to the police department and saw that he was basically an alternate apparently, because she was like, wait, what? Paranormal stuff? Adam and Lynn and Jude, and then she like saw it and just like fucking dipped. I don't really know what that could do, and honestly the only thing I'm thinking about is the very end there. I have deceived him. The Mandela Prophet, the Mandela Prophet. It's so interesting. The Mandela Prophet, he has deceived him, and then we basically see him like, what's it called? He basically gets his mugshots taken. Adam, that is. I don't really know what that could mean, bro. I really don't. I wish I knew, but I don't know. It's super cool though. I really like it. I think the alternate being Adam is really cool because it kind of like makes his whole nuance thing where I thought that the alternates were kind of just this natural calamity, But if they are thrown away, like, leftovers of humans or failed humans, that would make it really interesting because now they're not just blind monsters, but now they're monsters in nature. And so it kind of makes it just a bit more digestible as to why they are so sadistic and always just ready to harm individuals. It's really cool. I like it. It's hard for me to comprehend where the story's going to go now, because are they going to allow Adam to be the fighting force against this alternate evil? They just called him the Mandela's prophet. Yes, they deceived him, but is it impossible for him to get out of the predicament that he is in? I do not know, and we'll have to see. It was good. It was good, bro. It was a lot to talk about here, but it kind of just solidified Sarah more, Evelyn more, and also Dave, because Dave actually saw Gabriel and died because of it. And it's also very interesting. It seems like this is a very big pet peeve to Gabriel, is when people are given knowledge and they don't do what he expects them to do. He did the same thing with the shepherds, where he was like, I don't understand why you guys are running away from your fears, and so I'm going to put an alternate on your fucking boat, you piece of garbage, basically. And then he did that basically again, where he comes down and he's like, Dave, you are a fool. You had the entire truth in your palms, and yet you still followed the shepherds. It's really cool, man. I like it a lot. He was basically calling them a sheep. Oh, it's so cool. Anyway, the next installment in the Mandela Catalogue is The Beginner's Bible, The Story of Easter. Clips, 1995. I think that's, yeah. Anyway, let's get into that one, shall we? In this video, we start off by seeing the Roman guards in front of a large stone. The ground begins to shake violently as the stone would fall. They'd see an angel with its face blacked out. Gabriel's back at it again. The two would run off, passing by some young ladies. They would go to investigate what all the fuss was about, and the screen would go black and white, and we'd see Gabriel doing some weird shit again. He then disappears. The woman then goes to spread the gospel. It is heavily implied that Gabriel is the one creating these preachers out of nuns. This could be a hint to Gabriel's personality, someone who views his own words as gospel and truth, and so he creates these nun alternates as an instrument to his truth. It's very interesting. I like it a lot. It was a pretty quick watch, so we're gonna get right into the Mandela Catalyst. We start off the video with a name drop, the St. Gabriel's Church, the same one Mark and Sarah are shown standing in front of, and so that checks out as to why Mandela County seems to be taking the front of these attacks. It's because that is where Gabriel originates, essentially. The news reporter explains how a retail man was found dead. Our boy Dave got packed up. However, during the program, it gets interrupted.
To not have anyone in custody at the moment, but once we get that information, we will be sure to get those details to you.
Hey, Evelyn. I know it's been a while, but have you talked to Adam recently? No, he hasn't responded to me in weeks. Did something happen to him? No, everything's alright. I was just curious. Sarah, you can tell me. I was already concerned. He's fine, Evelyn. He has been acting weird around you too, hasn't he? We see an example of that weird behavior coming from Adam, as in the next scene, Evelyn calls for Adam with no response, only to then be greeted by an alternate outside her room.
Adam?
Evelyn, come here.
What are you doing?
There's something I want to show you.
Adam? Who is that? Adam, who is that?
We then get a biopsy report of our main man, Dave.
Give me the rundown. Dead upon arrival and both eyes missing. Estimated death was at around midnight.
Were the eyes recovered?
No, didn't get any word about that.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Come here. Look.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Brain's not supposed to do that. I forgot that place even existed.
Well, yeah. Nothing really worth talking about. Felt kind of weird, actually, seeing people there. Especially the press.
This was on the news?
I guess so.
The last time I heard them mentioned was when they were all migrating to, what was it, Workshop?
Don't ask me.
That place. She was talking about the church, which the next scene takes place at. We can then see red text behind the building, making it hard to read, but what I can see, or at least from whatever I got from it, was, "Wake up, Thatcher. Can you hear me? I am your intuition. Do you hear the screaming? And finally, go and see." Which he does. Thatcher would get into the van and make his way to the screaming. He goes inside the home with his body cam and would eventually find Adam.
The Fate of the Jester. Chapter 1. As the boy lay there dormant, all of his humanity drained into a murky puddle. Milky eyes cut through the thick blackness of the bedroom. A spectator. He was no longer the hero of the story, just a cog in the machine.
It seems like Adam has become more of an alternate. Like his eyes glow now and his jaw is super wide. And lastly, the voice actor of Adam said that during this scene, all of his bones were breaking, or at least that's how he was instructed to sound. That's why he's begging to be killed. Not sure why, but maybe it's something to do with his alternate side taking prominence now. Whatever it is, Jonah was right. He should have left that basement alone, And can I say that this was just downright terrifying? Something about seeing Adam there, it is like so surreal. This, I don't know, I feel like this series has always been scary, it's always been creepy, and it has never been one to really dive deep into the jump scares much, right? And this is to boot. This one is still the same. It fucking frightened me when I genuinely tell you I had a hard time watching it because it looks so real, but yet it looks so uncanny to the point where we've seen how Adam looks, you know, normally, and now we're seeing how Adam looks, but like, fuck, that was scary. I don't know. It really got to me. I will say it really did get to me. I had goosebumps all over my arms, and I still do. It's scary. The next installment is called the Mandela Catalogue, Presto. We open this video with the Mandela Tech going out of business, so they're hosting a huge sale on everything in the store. Then we cut to Evelyn and Sarah speaking. It seems Sarah knows how to hack security cameras, and Evelyn asks for her to see if Dave was truly alright, because she doesn't think anything bad happened to him, and he just wanted her to skip town because he was doing something secretive. Homie is not coming back. Right now his eyes are depleted. Then we snap to Adam coughing in the back of a car, more than likely Thatcher's car. Sarah then explains what Adam was doing to her.
So I turned on the light switch and it was just staring into my soul, and I was so confused because I didn't know if he was just tricking me again. I should have just listened to Amanda. She tried warning me.
You were in love. Don't beat yourself up over it. We'll get this all figured out. I'm sure he's just fine. He had moments like this all the time.
Sarah? Can you hear me?
But we snap back to the investigation room, and Adam is indeed not alright.
More I could do for you. I know you're in a lot of pain right now.
I know what you want. And I know what you're trying to do. I'm not afraid of you.
I don't want you to be afraid of me, kid. I don't care about the warrant. I'm not upset with you. Just tell me what happened. Everything.
I started the group with a girl from another school, and she lost interest. That doesn't matter. I had to find a replacement, and I hated him. A few months in, we got an appointment from a woman, and we went to her house that night.
Okay. What happened?
Most of it was a blur. I talked to someone. Someone talked to me.
Who are these people? Can you describe them to me?
No, I can't. It was my fault.
What was your fault?
Jonah, I'm paying the price. I knew this would happen. He told me.
Who told you?
God.
God, huh? more like Gabriel. We then see a video talking about the urban tragedy, saying that Thatcher Davis doomed us all. Then the toddler stress assessment smiley face is no longer smiling, as the words in the back say, "You were so caught up in your own volition that you never noticed your world turning into a gray and twisted version of its former self." And with the text being all weird and jumbled, I think this is Morse code. If anybody knows what this says, please drop it down below. I actually do not know. I would imagine that each of the spaces, so for example the Y would be 1 dot, then space, 2 dots, space, dot dot, space, dot, space. Maybe, I don't know, but it seems interesting. It's not good though. We were caught up in your own volition. That just seems to be directed to Thatcher, where he was in like the living in the past for 17 years, and he failed to realize the world was changing. And then we get 2 quick ones back to back. We then get another one labeled January 19th, 2009, 221A. The video starts off with an on-air sign being shown. The quality later then gets lower until we see the wall, ground, and window. The screen later then turns black. We later then see Adam's drawing of Gabriel and the intruder in low quality until the video ends with a picture of St. Gabriel's Church and the text, which reads, "Answers lie beneath." Interestingly, Adam's birthday is on January 18th, so this being, January 19, 2009 could hint towards something being very interesting, considering, like I said, his birthday was a day before. And 221 is a powerful angel number, meaning that your life has now become a divine purpose. Now, I'm sure this is all satire due to the state Adam is in. I don't think he is going to the defined purpose, but maybe define in the way that Gabriel wants him to be defined. Because by Gabriel's words, apparently that is the Mandela prophet. So it's very interesting. The next installment is 238. We don't know what PM, AM, we don't know what it could be, but this one is weird for sure. It starts off with a funny compilation of vines.
What the fuck, Richard?
Then it snaps to this darkened house with clocks and pictures all throughout. The picture being that of Lynn, Jude, and Adam, and the clock reading 6:08 and 7:53. We then see a doorknob slowly twist. Then we're back to the funny vines. So now we know that Vine is canon in this universe. Very interesting.
Why are you?
The Mandela Catalogue, Volume 5. We start this video off with the call between Thatcher and Jude. We see his death, or at least an implication of his death, as the landline phone dangles as someone was suddenly taken. We also get to see pictures of Lynn, Adam, and Jude as a family. We then see a private tape of the USDTP from 1992. It shows some weird events from investigators stationed in Yonter County. The first event discussed is the unregistered 1989 Ford Taurus, I hope I'm saying that right, passing between Yonder and Mandela several times over the course of 11 days. Alternates know how to drive now, huh? We just finna get cooked. The second event discussed is the task of Agent J. Booker, who was tasked with gathering samples from the home of Nicholas B., a location of interest. Booker captured 2 images and 1 video of anomalies, adding that these alternates weren't aggressive, just observant. We then come to find a note. This note gives us instructions on how to get to the safe house. Jude arrives to the safe house with the note, which reads, "The back door will be unlocked." At the bottom, Jude makes his way up to the room and lays down with the TV on.
Heard something you wish you didn't?
Do you find yourself constantly held back by irrational fear? Maybe you saw something you can't forget. Now, there is a solution. A new benzodiazepine with a modern approach to anxiety. Temaril. Temaril targets anxiety by calming the nervous system and slowing down hyperactivity in the brain. Symptoms such as insomnia, intrusive thoughts, and irrational fear are treated as a result, allowing you to live life the way you're supposed to. Temaril can cause serious side effects, including dizziness, hallucinations, confusion, impaired judgment, uncontrolled body movements, and headaches. Worsening of anxiety or depression has been reported by some patients. Use caution while driving or operating machinery. You are not alone. Take action today. Ask your healthcare provider about Temaril Farazepam.
We are then shown a biblical animation. One of the shepherd's youngest lambs had died, and he prays for forgiveness, saying that he tried his best. And that's when Gabriel would show up, reviving the lamb. We switch to Jude. He is shown in the kitchen, on the phone, with the contact of the MRS. He confirms that he has made it safely to the safe house. The agent on the phone asks if he's sure about this relocation, and of course he says yes. Apparently Jude wasn't so clueless after all. He was a part of some operation. Jude is shown to be on the phone with Dr. Jack Williamson. The doctor asks him if Adam has shown any improvement, and of course Jude lies, saying that he's doing great. And the doctor is proud of how Jude is keeping his family safe. And if Jude hangs up, he would go downstairs, and he would see a reflection, or rather, his alternate. The cartoon of the shepherd returns. The shepherd is approached by a woman who introduces herself as a farmer, Jane. She asks for some grain, and he gives her some, but before she could leave, he asks if there's anything she can spot wrong with his lamb. But she doesn't see anything wrong, and actually asks him to come visit her that night. Then he awakes in the desert.
How do I know you are holy?
We come back to the agent and Jude. He asks if he has left yet, and Jude replies that he couldn't due to, well, the fucking alternate. He's also shown taking some antidepressants. The agent on the phone gets mad and tells him that he knows what he needs to do, and thus he gets up to do it.
Can I help you?
Hi, Lieutenant Davis, MCPD.
We didn't call for the police. Everything's okay here.
We're just doing routine checkups around town. It's a requirement from the state. Do I know you from somewhere?
I don't think so. Is this MCPD's jurisdiction?
Yes.
Oh, I guess we're still in Mandela. Thought we were in yonder. Can I help you with anything?
Are you aware of the television and mirror destruction order?
Well, I'm house sitting, and, yeah, I'm aware of it, but all good here.
Good. Always nice to meet another upstanding citizen. I hope you and your family have a nice day.
Thanks, officer.
That is not Thatcher. Later, Jude is shown laying in bed, and we get this blurry image of Gabriel. The cartoon returns, and the shepherd, now walking through the desert, stops when a mouth opens up in the sand and begins to speak.
And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. Night fell upon them in an instant, and all the color was drained from the world. An angel appeared to them, and they were terrified. The angel fooled them, just like he planned. But there was more work to be done.
It does not need to be that way. You are not the first. There are so many more. Nothing has been done yet. He has a lot of convincing to do. Until then, trust nobody. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me?
Where am I?
What do you mean? You're in my home. You've been here for a while.
He's here.
What?
I know his presence.
Who's he? Everybody left town. It's just you and me. Just what I prayed for. Look at me. What's wrong?
Please, no. Are you there?
Jude wakes up to see the TV is showing the front of the safe house. He looks out of the window and sees a crib on the ground as he hears a crying baby. He then goes downstairs to see a figure outside his window. That figure rushes into his home, chasing Jude back upstairs.
What do you want from me? It's you! It's fucking you! What the fuck do you want from me? You've taken everything from me! You've taken my wife! You've taken my fucking child! What do you want to kill me? Fucking kill me! I've got nothing!
Please. Someone. Please. God. Please. Help. Please. Not like this. He's inside of my mind. Stop it, please. Stop, please.
Chilling. Up until now, I kind of just thought that Jude had died along with Adam and Lynn, but the alternates not only took everything away from this guy, causing him to spiral and rely heavily on antidepressants that cause hallucination, only to weaken his mind and put him through a fate worse than death. Just imagine your death playing on loop for all eternity. Like, what the fuck did you do to make them that mad in order for them to do that to him? They kill everybody else, why not just kill him too? It's something personal, something sadistic. The next section being the Mandela Catalogue, Unraveling, Part 1. This video begins with the recorder searching for the channel called All Dark, All Gone on TikTok. We see a video where she is doing her makeup. The video later loops repeatedly, I think about 3 or 4 times, until the video changes with an unnerving music.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's episode, we are going to be doing a get ready with me. I set up my hair. First, I start out by using niacinamide. Then I take my moisturizer, mix with the bronzing drop, and I just mix that together and put it on my face.
This was a quick one, but what scares me is that if this is done through TikTok, that means the alternates still roam in the modern day, where everything has become digital. If they could do all these things with a GPS and do all these things with digital analog TVs, or not digital, but like analog TVs, what's to say that they are already shown doing shit through TikTok? That means they have the power of our phones, computers, laptops, GPS, satellites within the sky. They have a lot of power when you really think about it, and it's scary. It's only getting worse for humankind. And the next is the second part of the unraveling. At the beginning, we are shown the Mandela Tech Diary, in which we are introduced to the explanation of the concept called generational loss, which is the loss of quality of a VHS tape. Dave, having had a recent experience while performing work functions, discovered that it is possible to obtain another type of generational loss through external influences. For this, he resorted to using a VHS tape of an educational religious cartoon program called The Beginner's Bible, the one from the story of Easter. Dave puts the first one in and feels like he's not alone. Dave would then put the second tape in, and he turns to a pair of legs, and Dave then puts the final one in. What's interesting is we don't really know who Dave is. I guess I've always called Dave, the same person that got his eyes like gouged out from Gabriel. But this might be a different Dave if this is happening the furthest along. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what that was. I'm gonna be honest, I'm at a complete loss for this last one. I guess he was trying to purposefully get the alternates there because he was saying the alternates have the ability to create generational loss. So if you guys don't know what generational loss is, basically imagine, and I think this is how it is. But imagine you record something and then you put it at 720p and then you just keep on exporting it. I think generational loss is the downgrade, the degradation of the quality. And obviously the thing that I just used is not generational loss, but more so when you took a VHS tape and you just kept exporting it, it would eventually lose its gradients and it would lose its function as a VHS tape until it was just pixels. And I guess I'm just going to say that this is our Dave that we knew and that he died because he seemed to be the technician behind the mind of Thatcher. So maybe this was just one of his many things, and maybe this very event had him shook. It was like, yeah, I'm not going to fuck around with these alternates no more, and ended up going to the biggest alternate of them all, that being Gabriel. So as of today, that was 3 months ago. The Unraveling Part 2. That was the last of the Mandela Catalogue thus far. It's obviously still very much ongoing, and even to this day, we can see on YouTube, on Twitter, that he posts his stuff. And he's saying that there will be a part 6 soon enough, and that the game, or that the series is not completed thus yet. And so now we wait. But as of right now, we have a shit ton of lore to maybe answer some questions that are still lingering, and maybe answer some questions that I want to know. And also, you know what, I love to do it, but we're gonna try our best to create a timeline of events that takes place. It's hard. I tried really hard not to rely on preset timelines that I found on Reddit or YouTube or anything. I only use that to cross-reference and make my own understanding of the story, because personally I still have a few theories that have yet to come to fruition that I would like to come to fruition, and I'm gonna try to put that in my timeline. So without further ado, let's get it started. I'm going to break up this section because, like I said, Mandela Catalogue is just a huge Goliath of content, and so just talking about it will not simply do. So we're gonna split things up into 3 sections, well, 4 sections really. We're gonna have the biblical era, okay, and then we're gonna have the analog era, which is basically 1830s to like 1900s basically, and then we're gonna go into the digital era, which is all the things coming from 2000s onwards, and then we're gonna finally hit the modern, because I feel like putting everything from 2000s to 2010 and then comparing that with modern day technology just expedited so many things that I think it deserves its own thing. Obviously it'll be very small, but I will go into my theories as to why it's so important. So let us start with the biblical era. So the biblical era doesn't really have any concrete dates, obviously, so I'll just be talking straight from the Bible and the stories, right? So before Christ, which is BC, this is the very first sighting of anything Gabriel related, and that was in volume 5, I believe, when it started off talking about how the 7 days of the week were created. So I'm going to sit here and read it to you. So in the first day, the Spirit, I'm not sure who the Spirit is, separated the light and the darkness and created day and night. And then on the second day, the Spirit divided the skies from the waters, creating a great firmament to divide them. Okay? And then in the third day, the Spirit separated the water from the dry land and created the plants that flourish within it, including the grass, flowers, and the trees. Obviously, that tree, an individual very akin to the archangel of Gabriel, which is the first sighting of Gabriel, would appear behind a tree and corrupt it, leading to the creation of the forbidden fruit. And then on the fourth day, the stars and the planets that filled the night skies were created, along with the sun and moon, which gave life to the day and night, respectively. And then on the fifth day, sea-based, sky-based, and land-based animals were created, and obviously with the land-based came Adam and Eve, which was finally on the sixth day. A man was created with the dust of the ground, followed by a woman created from his rib to keep him company, obviously very akin to Adam and Eve. That same night they deeply fall asleep, looking at the stars. But in the middle of the night, a voice could be heard, and Adam would hear that voice. He would get up, and he would be enticed to eat that forbidden fruit, thus causing the original alternate, becoming the original alternate, from my understanding. And then he would come back on the seventh night. The woman attempted to stargaze as she did the night prior. However, this time she was greeted by an alternate staring down at her, the alternate Adam. And she's implied to be the first mad individual, the first person to be affected by MAD. And then later we would have Noah's Ark. So now with the Adam and Eve all being corrupted, the forbidden fruit all being Gabriel's work, he still had some more corrupting to do. And so he would go to Noah and say how he's truly their God and Savior, But Noah wouldn't go for that, and he said, fuck all that. And obviously, as punishment, Gabriel would get very angry and put those said alternates onto that ship of his, causing mass spread of alternancy, if that's what I can use. And then we have after Christ's biblical era. And so this is after Jesus' birth, basically. So true Gabriel would appear in front of the shepherds and be like, yo, Jesus Christ himself will be born. And so that's when the false Gabriel would come in systematically and sabotage it. And so now we jump by to after the Christ had been born, you know, the 3 days and the Easter, blah, blah, blah. Before all that, the true Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, or Archangel Gabriel would come down and be like, yo, Jesus Christ is finna be born soon. Yeah, about to have yourselves a savior. And obviously he would fly away, and false Gabriel would, and we know that alternates do not need to kill an angel to become it, so he would just take the face of Gabriel and sabotage it, basically deceiving them and causing them mad, or MAD, just like how the prior alternate happened, claiming himself to be the true savior of mortals and that he knows everything about them that makes them human, what they love, and most importantly, what they fear. And then move on to Jesus Christ actually being born and the crucifixion. Not much is known for this event except that it could be implied that Gabriel had something to do with the crucifixion, like in the beginning. Like he could have been the one that like snowballed this and was like, yo, this nigga needs to die. Could have been Gabriel, you don't know. And then obviously we finally have Easter Day. You know, that's when Jesus Christ arose from the dead on Easter. On the third day, the Messiah's resurrection. However, this is a bit different because instead of finding Jesus Christ as he resurrects and the stone falls down, the nuns, Maria, basically, would go and hope to find Jesus Christ, right? But instead, she would find Gabriel. And Gabriel would then whisper some sweet somethings into her head, and she would basically spread that, becoming the first preacher in a list of many preachers to come and probably spread the alternate individual. And so these didn't have a date, so that was just me rambling about Jesus Christ getting overturned by an alternate, and how Adam and Eve could be alternates is crazy, but it really goes deep. So now we're going to move on into the analog era. So as far back as we know in analog era, we have 1832, which is the establishment of Mandela County, and probably very similar to all of the other counties around. They probably also got erected in that time frame of some sort. Obviously, at the same time as the county was established, the Mandela County Police Department was also founded as well. Almost 90 years in the future, in 1974, Mark Heathcliff would be born on July 24th of 1974, and then 4 years later, now being 4 years old, Mark would basically tell how he was afraid that his father didn't tuck him in before bed, and he would go to his parents' room, and when he goes there, he encounters the intruder in the room downstairs, but he makes it out alive this time, showing that Mark has indeed been dealing with these intruders and alternates for a long time. And then in the 1981, the United States Department of Temporal Phenomenon is established, implying the need to fight off against the alternates threat in years prior. It's likely that they also created several PSAs explaining the threat of the alternate to the public of this year, and that's when Mandela Tech had been founded as well. Going back to the prior thing that I said, the PSAs, and that's obviously been a very interesting thing there as well, because the intruder was actively changing these PSAs, which shows that these two were at odds this for a long time before. So it just makes it very interesting and weird. Maybe it was just like a higher intelligence only knew, but it seemed like the intruder had been a problem far before the Mark Heathcliff, or not the Mark Heathcliff, the Adam situation. It was much more of a problem because Mark himself was 4 years old and was already like, yo, that motherfucker over there tripping. And then 1982, in the third quarter of the year, The MAD was a sudden return in the population, which was weird, and so they advised everyone to chill out from using any of the digital analog stuff. And then in 1988, Adam Murray is born on January 18th, and Jonah Marshall is born on March 7th. So the two of them were the same age. And then in 1989, Sarah Heathcliff, Mark's younger sister, was born, but the date's not known. And then in 1990, the USDTP is revised. Jude and Lynn Murray get married in June 8th of 1990, and Evelyn Miller is born at an unknown date. And this is when things hit the fan. We obviously know how big the date 1992 is. The alternate crisis seems to resurface, having about 5,000 more deaths in Mandela County in this year alone. Either reruns or previous PSAs or new PSAs entirely are shown to the public, though it is implied that these were distorted by outside forces in order to spread information falsely and fear of the population. The alternate crisis proves too much for the Mandela County Police Department to handle, as indicated with the amount of missing cases, and so they explicitly decide not to help anyone reporting the alternate encounter, claiming that nothing worth the risk, because they just know, why send police there if they're going to die as well? Just let it happen, okay? On April 4th of 1992, Thatcher Davis, an MCPD Employee of the Month, Ruth Weaver, are promoted to lieutenant and sergeant respectively. Jude Murray and Lynn get a divorce in August 29th for unknown reasons. Custody over Adam Murray seems to remains on Lynn's side. Despite this, both parents seem to still be friends with each other and make an effort to raise their child like some good adults, which is cool. It's really nice. And on August 30th, a now 17-year-old Mark Heathcliff had been paranoid for a prolonged amount of time from the encounter with one, if not more, alternates. He visits various locations, including his childhood church and what appears to be his home. After avoiding an alternate, he locks himself in a room where he sees the intruder appearing on a nearby analog TV, and Heathcliff survives the encounter through unknown means. And then in 1992, the Mandela Catalogue Volume 5 has been stated that it will be around 1992. Where it falls in the timeline is unknown, though likely before September 1992 events, as Mark and likely Cesar Torres will be a part of it, though this series has shown it has no problem with posthumous appearances, which is really interesting and cool. So in September of 1992, on the 13th, at 9:30, Mark Heathcliff receives a phone call from an alternate posing as Cesar Torres. The alternate lures Mark to Torres' residence with the excuse of his mother being in the ER, that he needed someone to turn the cameras on for him. Mark arrives at the Cesar's house at 1956, quickly turning on the cameras in just 23 seconds and having implied sightings of the alternate inside. Mark quickly returns to his home, arriving at 10:09 and locking himself in his bedroom with the camcorder. Now, what's so fucking interesting is that I had no idea that changes so many things. So earlier in the video, I'm sure you can probably find it, and I'm pretty sure plenty of you guys are going to tell me that I was wrong on this, but hey, for those who made it 2 hours and 30 minutes into the video, I finally understand it. Yes, so it was not Mark that had called Cesar, but was instead Cesar Torres, Mark's best friend, who called him and said, yo, my mom's in the ER, can you come over and turn these lights on for me? And that was enough to latch the alternate onto Mark, and that's why Mark was writing to everyone and it's like, yo, nobody's coming to help, I've already been through this, and that's why he shoots himself. It's very sad, but it's very interesting too to see how it was always an alternate. It was just not, it was cool. Okay, it was really cool. And simultaneously, while this happened, as I stated, the epidemic of alternates seemed to be at an all-time high. And so while Mark was dealing with that and Cesar was doing that, it was also simultaneously when the intruder came and took Adam Murray's infant body, causing Lynn to kill herself and an intruder to go and do all these things. It's very interesting. But that this was basically the catalyst for Ruth and Thatcher for going to Adam's house and having Ruth die and Thatcher go on this 17-year quest to kill that one alternate that got his best friend killed. Oh, and this is when Thatcher and Dave's like early on friendship began to blossom, because now that Thatcher knows that these things exist and somehow he lives from that, he actually asked Dave Lee, a person who is in charge of the Mandela tech, to basically uncode these things. And I think that's what we saw in the Unraveling Part 2, was Dave Lee figuring out how to get rid of generational loss, essentially. And he basically was able to decode and pixelize a bunch of old cartoons. And that's what we saw here. And in 1995, various clips of famous Christian cartoons are found and preserved, later to be uploaded onto the YouTube channel. And finally, digital error. That's 2000s. So Dave Lee is contacted by a man named O'Brien. O'Brien's like, yo, how's it going down there? Obviously, for time and time now, all the Mandela County has stepped or died. The USDTP released, or attempted to release at least, a PSA falsely explaining that alternates has been exterminated, but obviously we know that it was not the truth, and that's why the club was founded in the first place. It's because they wanted to show that these things truly exist. And in 2008, on August 14th, Adam goes to an out-of-body experience in the middle of sleep paralysis. He describes it perfectly conscious yet paralyzed, like his vision was separated from his body and watching over him like a security camera. He saw someone that recognizes him, the man in the corner, slowly approaching him. Adam doesn't specify whether he was approached his physical self or his out-of-body self as he is approached. Adam could feel his presence and energy communicating with his, which he describes as something akin to static coming from an old TV before it shocks you. Basically, we're getting that Adam may have been early signs of being one of the alternates, one of the intruders. And finally, on January 2009, specifically January 12th, Adam and Jonah receive an appointment from a woman from Mandela County. The woman claims that she's hearing her deceased cat Johnny meowing, and she wants people to come over and see if they can't usher him into the new light. Turns out that she is an alternate and the intruder was the cat. And so when getting there, it was all a setup, because they know that Adam was indeed going to be drawn into that, and Jonah was then separated from Adam's reluctance to listen, and Jonah dies. But of course, Adam makes it out alive somehow, finds Jonah in the car and walks for miles first, and finds Jonah dead in the car and drives back. But something fundamentally changes within Adam, as he just doesn't seem to care very much and is very, very tunnel visioned on getting those perfect shots. Actually, in 2009, Dave Lee actually considers calling O'Brien and going to the church, and that's when it was Gabriel, and he got his eyes gouged out, saying that Thatcher will be the next person on his list. And then after January 13th, we see that Dave is found dead in a parking lot of St. Gabriel's Church, and it is interrupted by a faceless alternate. Says no more running until he's turning back to the broadcast. So it's all scary shit. Meanwhile, Evelyn is on her side quest trying to figure out some things about what happened to Dave, and she actually finds things that happened to Adam as a child, but we don't really get to see that in fruition, because around midnight the intruder finally talks to Adam, and he finally reveals him to the unbridled truth about himself and his origins, this time without interruptions. And later on, Adam claims that God himself talked to him. And then, the rest is history from there, where Adam is actually found by Thatcher because Gabriel tells him to follow the screaming. And so when he follows the screaming, he finds Adam. And Adam seems to be in a very painful state, saying that Jonah was right, that he should have never gone down there, and that this is his punishment, and that God talked to him first, right? All these things, all these special things. And then in the following sections here, we see that Vine becomes a potent thing that it used somehow. And then we saw TikTok was also another potent thing that it used. Now, while this wasn't a super huge amount of like information with the modern day, just showing us that they are able to use TikTok and are able to use Vine shows that they are indeed capable of mass spreadage. And maybe this is why this gives us our answer as to maybe this was why in the first place they decided to wait so long, is that they wanted humans to persevere long enough to then create technology that would easily allow them to take over the fucking world at this point. Yes, they could have done so easily before, but they don't seem to be like super aggressive creatures, like what you would lead them to believe. They seem like they need to follow certain rules, and maybe those rules is that you have to invite us in, maybe like a Ouija board or something like it, right? And well, when you open your phone and you click on a link, maybe that allows for them to be like, hey, at least you let us in, you can't be mad at us. And that will be finally the last and final thing up to date right now. It is a long list of events that all string together, and I really want to see what happened to Adam. We don't know if Adam's dead, we don't know if Thatcher's dead, we don't know if anyone's dead. It's just a long list of things, but I think it's really cool. And so we are finally at the very end of the video. Thank you guys for sticking around, thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for just supporting. It's been a dream. And I think I wanted to come out and say, what was I going to say? I guess I wanted to just say that I know that this series is a really, really big one. And if for those that are like super knowledgeable in this series, know little very nitty gritty details, I would like for you guys to point out all the things that I got wrong. On this channel, I'm gonna be transparent. I feel like there's just I've kind of trapped myself within this limited space of what I can make and what will do well on my channel. I've always, like, I'm a game nerd. I've always played Terraria, Minecraft, like all these different type of games, but like I can't quite put that on my channel. And so I use those as examples because I feel like I'm kind of almost forced to play these dark games that have these type of narratives. I read manga. I would love to talk about anime, manga, different type of games. I would like to make a second channel with just a gaming channel for those type of things. But as of right now, what I'm trying, one thing at a time, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set up like videos that could be broken up into what's it called, segments, episodics. Like, I want to basically talk about things that are very like relevant and then the ongoing, and then I'll just make a chapter 2 of it, chapter 3, chapter 4 of it. And so basically I'm saying this to say I want you guys to correct me if I got anything wrong, so that way when another installment 3-4 months down the road comes out for Mandela Catalogue and we all watch it together and I make a video on it, I would like to be notified and understand what the hell is actually going on and not spread misinformation. That always sucks. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all soon. People are driving by as soon, like I'm telling you, I was just sitting here editing for like 2-3 hours. Nobody drove by. As soon as I started, they want to start doing donuts in the fucking street. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm gonna take a big fat nap, maybe eat some food. I got some cinnamon toast crunch, maybe. I just feel tired, bro. Anyway, I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out. I love you, and I'll see y'all on the next one. And catch the stream. I'll be streaming tomorrow at 11 a.m. See ya.